Hey, future freelancer. So you already know why LinkedIn is so important from the last video, but how do you use it when you can't actually mention that you're freelancing? For example, if your boss might actually, I don't want to say fire you, but get kind of mad if they find out you're doing side work, this would be the video for you because you don't want to mention that you're freelancing on your profile.
It's time to get back on LinkedIn.
Let's get into it. So first, let's open LinkedIn. I'm going to assume you may already have some sort of profile, but if you didn't, the information is going to be the same. Your interface on LinkedIn might actually look different from mine. Go to your profile and find the pencil icon. From here, we're going to start editing your profile. Your headline's actually going to be different from what you put on Upwork because you don't want to mention that you're freelancing. A great template to follow is what you are plus expert in the fields that you want to work in, or the companies that you want to work for. You get the gist.
Fine. Do you understand that? Yes.
Here are some examples. You could use video expert in the pet industry, or you could say social media specialist in the tech industry. You get the gist. By saying that you are in this space does not actually imply that you are freelancing. However, it would tell Upwork prospects and people who want to hire you coming from LinkedIn that you work in usually these types of industries. Next, let's get into what should you make your current job? You actually probably want to keep it as your current job. I know that seems obvious, but we do not want to add a different position for freelancing or say that you're on Upwork or anything like that, because it will be visible to coworkers and, more importantly, your boss. Next, we're going to change your city. I bring this up because sometimes changing your city can actually lead to more leads in your inbox. I did this for myself by changing mine to San Francisco for some time to get some leads, and then I changed it back to Hawaii when I didn't really want leads anymore. So for you, you could also make yours San Francisco or Los Angeles, New York, or Austin. These cities are business hubs, so they're more likely to show up in search results when businesses are looking for someone with your skill set. Let's go down to the About section. We're going to copy the text from Upwork to use as a starting point, but again, we don't want to mention we're freelancing. So we're going to change it up a little bit. We're going to make it known that you're in this space, in this expertise, while also not necessarily saying you're up for sale. For example, if I were in this situation, instead of me writing freelance performance marketer who manages ads for SaaS companies, I would say expert performance marketer in the SaaS space. I've worked with dozens of tech companies helping them manage their advertising budgets. You see how it's showing my level of expertise and who I work for while not necessarily mentioning that it's for sale? Then you also want to add in a sentence or two about why you're a badass at this particular thing. You can also write out some of the tasks that you enjoy doing because this is going to give future prospects a more holistic idea of other things you like to do outside of the primary service. So for mine, I offer ads management, but I also put that I do landing page design. Finally, in the About, we want to add some keywords to the bottom. This is going to help you show up for more searches and recruiters will start hitting you up more. This could be for softwares or just other sort of job titles that you feel like are relevant to what you're doing. For education, I don't recommend putting your graduation date if you are younger, like 25 years old or younger, because it's going to show your lack of real work experience. And speaking from experience, they will not hire you. So go ahead and remove that. I know it's annoying. Sorry. Then for work experience, we don't want to simply list out what you did. Like, let's use a retail store as an example. You don't want to write, I hung over 500 t-shirts in one day, or help customers with their purchases, because this doesn't actually show how you made an impact. What shows how you made an impact is how you've helped the business. So maybe here are some actual examples I would use if I was in retail. Maybe I would say I improved operations by processing returns 10% faster month over month. Or when customers shop with me versus just browsing, I increased their average order value. This actually shows how you made an impact on the bottom line to the business, which is what future prospects care about. They want to know how you made that business money because they're hiring you to make them money as well, right? So while you're here, go ahead, fill out your past jobs using bullet points and an impact-based framework like the examples I just gave you. Next, we want to go and add your featured post. Now, do not put your website URL or your Upwork URL here if they mention that you're freelancing. Obviously, your Upwork URL does. Your website might not. We're going to talk about that in a future lesson. But what you could use here, let's say that you wrote blog posts, you were in a podcast or a magazine. You could put content like that here because, again, it doesn't necessarily say that you're up for sale. Next, let's add your recommendations. We talked about this in Module 1. Those same people you ask for Upwork recommendations can also write your LinkedIn recommendations. You can send this request to past coworkers, managers, or maybe even current clients if you have any. Now let's say no one sends one. There's two different things you could do. First, you could sweeten the deal by offering to give a recommendation in return. Or you could ask your friends because they're basically required to help you out, right? Great, you've added your recommendations, we're almost done. Let's add that you're open to work and what job titles you're open to working in. Now, before you trip out and you're like, Faith, I don't want this to show to my employer, or I'm not looking for full-time gigs. Hear me out. One, your boss, your coworkers, people aren't going to see this. Just recruiters are going to see this and not the ones that work at your company, if you have recruiters. Now, the full-time gig part, what's interesting about this is this will allow recruiters to reach out to you with full-time offers for the thing that you're freelancing in. What's going to happen is you're going to respond to these recruiters saying, hey, I will do this same thing, but as a contractor. Sometimes companies don't have a preference, so you could work there as a contractor or as a full-time hire. They don't care as long as the job gets done. So this can be a great way to get leads in while not necessarily showing that you're freelancing on your profile. The last step is just to add any licenses, certifications, courses, or other miscellaneous items. Now, it's not likely that a prospect is going to read all of this because it's pretty minor details, but it does help with SEO and will help more recruiters find your profile. So I'd recommend doing it, and it's good to be thorough, right? Once this is all done, you are good to go. You have just increased the odds of closing deals because of your new LinkedIn profile.
Congratulations.
It's very exciting.
That's awesome.
So let's recap. You got to be on LinkedIn for two reasons. First, it's going to help you with your Upwork clients. It's going to help you dramatically close deals because they're going to see that you're legit and trust you more because you have a LinkedIn profile. Second, it's going to actually allow you to get clients outside of Upwork as well. That could be from you reaching out to other businesses, messaging them, or it could be from businesses messaging you. It's the recruiters reaching out to you, offering you full-time gigs, which you'll reply that you'll do the same thing happily as a contractor. So your action item for today is to go ahead, if you haven't already, build out your LinkedIn profile. And once you're done with that, if you want bonus points, go ahead and jump into the next lesson where we're going to talk about other marketplaces you needed to apply to like yesterday.
Sometimes I like to throw in LinkedIn.